Dad taught me not to underestimate the river.
We went down on the beach. We had our own gang, and we went down right up the river here. There was a sandbar across from the Aurora.
And it was called the Sons of Beaches.
Well, I wasn't going to say that.
I knew you weren't going to say that, but we had a lot of parties.
A lot of parties.
Oh, my. Skied.
No, I ain't going to tell that story.
But you know, you were talking about one time when the boat harbor broke loose, and you floated down the river, and I remember I was with a state trooper who we were trying to throw lights on you.
So the lighting done that, took care of that.
Yeah, you had no lights or anything, and he had this state trooper, I can't remember which one it was now, had big spotlights, and we trying to help him because he was floating down the river on these docks that just cut loose with boats attached.
I didn't want to lose it, and really, as far as being any danger, I didn't see any danger in it at all.
The river changes. It's something always changing. There's always something going on.
My grandparents, on a weekend or on a Sunday, they would row down here just for the afternoon and had to row back. Yeah, and they got, at that time, they had, the dresses went clear to their ankles.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll get you that picture with my grandmother and her sister and my granddad with the double-barrel shotgun over his shoulder. My understanding, this is the end of the glacier push in the Great Ice era. And that's what they call sedimentary rock that was been pushed down from Canada. They raised the river here approximately 28 foot. And it was clear out of water. You could walk around those rocks. And out in the river, there was another rock protruding out of the water. You could walk, it had water all the way around it, that you could actually dive off of it. And it was that much lower. Here at Lower Aurora, it was so shallow that the stern wheels had to turn around back over them. And then they raised the river in the, I'm going to say the 20s, about 8 foot. And they had multiple locks all the way up to Pittsburgh. Along 60, they come along and put higher dams, like Markland has put in there. They eliminated 3 locks that raised the river here at Aurora about 28 foot. So in other words, in round figures, they raised the water here 30 foot over the original pool to get navigation. There's more tonnage. You know, this was a few years ago, went by Aurora than at any point on Ohio that went through the Panama Canal.
I remember coming down and we'd line up on the riverbank and watch Bobby Lischkge ski. And nobody had seen that, only in newsreels. And he was skiing and put on quite a show on Sundays, I guess it was. But it was just part of life. Everybody knew everybody in those days. And Bobby was serious and always working. And I was out there.
You went out flying.
I was dances and everything. He never went to dances. Did you ever go to a dance?
Oh, of course I did. We went to the Blue Bubble.
We did?
Yeah.
You and me?
Mm-hmm.
You always have to plan for the worst, and it'll teach you to respect it.
I remember one time I got thrown in the river in February.
That's before we was married.
Oh, yeah. I was watching this boat, and it was a friend of mine, a classmate. And I thought, he's going to flip that boat. He was a race boat, big engine.
You and I was running together.
Yeah, you and him used to race all the time. And I thought, we all stood there on the bank and said, he's going to flip that boat. He came in, want to go for a ride, Tessie? Yeah, sure. Got in it and flipped in the middle of the river in February. It was pretty chilly. One of the Baker boys pulled me out. Thank God he had a boat there.
I was probably sitting back laughing at you.
Probably. I don't know where you were. So I was wild and crazy. At one time, God, that seems like 100 years ago.
The river is home around here. It's part of the town.
We stayed in the garage there on Judiciary Street until we come into the second floor, and we moved up to my grandmother's. And then when we got up to her house, and that was right across from the post office.
What I remember of the 1937 flood, we had a barn down in back of our house, and we had people living in that. And we had people living in our home. And of course, I was young, but I remember all those people there, and our house caught on fire. It was on Black Sunday, when it was raining on top of the snow and the sleet. And the firemen couldn't get to the house, and they crawled on their hands up on Fifth Street. Well, of course, there was we didn't get water, but...
One other thing happened on Black Sunday was my granddad's birthday. And that day, his house went down the river, completely. The 50s, 60s, and 70s, the river was really dirty. And this river right now is many times, 30 times cleaner than it was back then.
Do you remember any really funny times? Is there a
Oh my
story?
God.
I mean, I know there's a million, but...
Some of them, I don't dare tell some of the stories. I mean, come on, Dennis.
Tessie and I and two other couples went to Madison on my dad's boat.
Louisville.
Louisville, we went to Louisville. Well, of course, we partied all the way up and all the way back, but we stopped and stayed overnight at Madison. And Elvin kicked all the lights out, stubbed his toe, broke his toe of all the lights at the dock.
Blew out all the lights. Everybody was fixing to eat.
And listen, we went down there to that yacht club in Louisville, and we tied up there. I've never been any place like it since. They come down and waited on us with white towels over their arms and took our orders and brought it to us.
You would have thought we were Mr. and Mrs. Scott Rocks. Oh, Lord.
That was one of the...
And we were just river folk.
One thing, it's home.
He and Robert both, they'll say, oh, Mom, there's nothing like that beautiful Ohio River. And it is beautiful, look at it. We've got beautiful down here.
This area right through here is really outstanding.
Oh, this is home. I've always come home. I love our quirky little unique Aurora.
This is home to me.